Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. Today, we're being joined by Kevin Wilson, author of Table for One. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Oh, it's so great to be here. Thank you.
All right, you ready to get started?
Yep.
All right, question number one. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
All right, if you're currently writing your book, I would get the Writer's Digest. I guess it would be 2020 now. They give you like a listing of like 3,000 publishing companies. They also give you a list of literary agents for when you do get published, and it's a good resource. A lot of those that really helped me out. That was a good resource for me.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
Well, the stats. If you look up how to get published, you'll find out that there are thousands upon thousands of manuscripts submitted to each publishing company on a weekly basis. So you have to make sure your book is good. You have to make sure it stands out.
Well, speaking of standing out, let's talk a little bit about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that has worked well.
And I'll tell you, I'm an expert in this field. What I did was I went to radio when the book came out, and I found out that radio is starving for guests. So the easiest way for you to get out there when your book is published is to start with radio. And now what my book has evolved into is a very successful podcast. And we have a podcast called Dining on a Dime, and I teach people how to save money on their monthly food budgets. We give them food entertainment and food news.
Got it. So what's some of your advice to help people get on different radio shows?
Well, what you do is you simply email the station. I was on a Christian radio show on a Christian broadcast network within 2 weeks after getting published. It's very simple. You just look up the radio shows in your area, and you contact them. They're starving for guests.
Did you use a particular pitch or anything? What were you doing when you sent the emails?
I went on Google. I went on Google and found the radio stations, and I pitched them, say, hey, look, I'm a first-time author. I just got published. I'm looking to promote my book. My subject matter matches your show or has something to do with your show, and I would like to be on. And they 99% success rate.
Excellent. What do you feel are some of the benefits from being on different radio shows?
Well, what happens is the radio shows have social media. And once you get interviewed on a radio show, you'll find out that when you Google your book, it'll come up in the Google search. Some of them do have very good SEO, and you'll be on the front page of Google. So the benefit is when the radio show promotes your appearance, you get the pop from the social media and the Google. And some stations, have a good Google ranking, and you can get on the first page when you Google your book.
Excellent. Well, speaking of books, I'd like to know, what is your favorite book, and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
How to Win Friends and Influence People is my favorite book of all time. And what I learned from it is that when you have a conversation with someone, you'll get more success from talking about them instead of you. And it's because human nature naturally wants people to focus on us. So talking about yourself means nothing. And I've accomplished so much in my life from that moniker.
And for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
I guess it would be a penny saved is a penny earned. I think that I struggle with savings, but when I think of that is so true. The more money you put away, the more money you have.
Well, Kevin, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Okay, I have a website. My book is an inspirational memoir that includes my experience at Philadelphia restaurants. That evolved. See, that's what I want everyone to understand. That evolves into other things. That evolved into our current successful podcast, which is about food. And my book includes Philadelphia restaurants. Philly Restaurant Reviews with an S.com has over 400 restaurant experiences and photos. Also, you can Google Dining on a Dime podcast, and we come up on the front page of Google. And we do a weekly radio podcast and radio show that teaches people how to save money on their monthly food budgets, gives food entertainment. I'm syndicated on IndiePhilly.com Tuesday through Friday at 11 a.m., and we're syndicated on WMLD in Hudson Valley, New York, every Monday at 1 o'clock.
Kevin, I'm going to put you on the spot for a minute. Where's the best Philly in Philadelphia? Best Philly cheesesteak.
Where's the best what?
Where's the best Philly cheesesteak?
Gooey Louie's.
Really?
Gooey Louie's, second and McKean. It's down in South Philly. They put 20 ounces of meat on every cheesesteak.
Really? So not Pat's, huh?
Yes, that's their standard. They put 20 ounces on every cheesesteak.
Okay, I know we went a little off script on there, but when you mentioned food, I was like, I got to know where to get the best Philly. I think you just answered that very clearly.
And I'll tell you what, it's a good tip for authors too, that you can parlay your book into other areas. I parlayed my book into a successful podcast. I parlayed it into a weekly radio segment on ESPN Radio. So you got to look at other alternate ways to parlay your published book.
By the way, I'm assuming you're an Eagles fan, right?
Yes.
I'm a Cowboys fan, so been a good season so far. Not so much for you guys. I couldn't resist.
Wait till the end.
Hey, you never know. We've had a good start, so we'll see how it goes. But Kevin, I do want to thank you once again for being on this show. It's been a pleasure having you, and I do wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
Thank you so much. It's so exciting to be on the show. Thank you.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how you can be featured in our brand new Get Published business book, go to getpublishedpodcast.com.